So look at the clock. Yep. So kill it. 3 times. Say our names. Yep, 3 times. Cade.
Brian.
Good afternoon, Golden Bear fans. I'm Cade Hampton here with Mr. Brian Valkyrie. And tonight, the Mount Juliet Golden Bears will take on the Wilson Central Wildcats. Mr. Valkyrie, what are you going to be looking for here in this game tonight?
I'm looking for a very defensive, very physical game between these two rivals.
I think that's what everyone out here is looking for. As the Golden Bears are now walking towards the field. The Wilson Central Wildcats are getting ready to run out on the field. I turned the volume up a little bit.
The cheerleaders' sign is to keep the streak alive. The 10 years in a row that Mount Juliet has defeated the Wildcats.
Hopefully we keep that streak going this year.
It's kind of interesting that the 6 years before the streak started, Wilson Central won every game.
This has been a very streaky rivalry in recent history, similar to Alabama and Tennessee's rivalry over the years. We'll see if that streak changes tonight.
It's a very, very pretty night for a ball game, not very humid. The weather should not have any factor tonight.
Yes, sir. Not a cloud in the sky tonight.
Almost no wind. The field looks perfect, as every Perry football field does.
And the Wilson Central Wildcats are storming the field. And here come the Golden Bears. Both of these squads look and sound extremely excited tonight, Mr. Valkyrie. Do you think that'll have any effect on the game?
Well, one of the issues that Wilson Central has had through the years, and I know this from being a former Wilson Central football coach, is they get too excited for this game. And this is where, in a game like this with two really good defenses and two suspect offenses, I could see this first score being a huge factor. And if Mount Juliet can get on them early, that might set the tone for Wilson Central for the rest of the game.
getting ready to kick. Central kicks it off, and the game is underway. It's a short squib kick fielded by Mount Juliet around the 30-yard line, and a good return.
Run.
He cuts it upfield and tackled it about the 50-yard line.
Yeah, Central ran the squib kick. They're obviously afraid of our return game, and it backfired on them because we get the ball on their side of the 50-yard line.
The official spot looks to be the 52. 49. 49, my mistake. And the Golden Bears offense is taking the field, led by quarterback number 12, junior Bryce Messenger. What are you going to be looking for from him tonight, Mr. Valkyrie?
Accuracy.
Messenger throws up to Malik Bowen and incomplete. There's a flag on the play.
The ball is a little underthrown there.
Looks to be a false start against Mount Juliet.
They went really fast there, and the rules state you have to be, still for at least a second, and I don't think we were.
1st and 15, Golden Bears. Handoff goes to Colin Jarrell, number 2, and he takes it up to about the 48-yard line.
Got the penalty yardage back +1. Nice run.
Second down and 9. Messenger takes the snap, and it's a quarterback draw, read option, and Messenger takes it up to about the Central 45.
Yeah, I think he was really trying to hand off there, but there was a miscommunication there with the tailback because he didn't look comfortable when he made the decision to run.
Miscommunication has seemed to be a common theme for the Mount Juliet offense this year, and they're going to have to fix that if they want to stay in this game against Central.
Oh, we got a different formation set up here.
3rd down and 6.
We got double stacks.
Messenger takes the snap, hands it off, and he's going to be brought down just short of the 1st down.
4th and short. Let's see what Coach Perry does.
Do you think he tries to go for it this early in the game, or do you think he plays it safe and punts it away?
It looks like he's going for it.
The kicker is not out there.
Looks like to be some confusion there on the sidelines. Hope we don't have too many guys in the huddle.
So here we go. Mount Juliet going for it early on 4th down and 2. Takes the snap, hands it off, and no gain. Central makes the stop and will take the ball at their own 42-yard line.
And Coach Perry and Coach White are furious, and as well they should be. There was some definite miscommunication issues going on for the last 2 plays.
Yeah, if Mount Juliet wants to hang in this game, they're going to have to fix that issue ASAP.
Now, watching Central on film, they really try to run outside. They go outside so way more than inside. I don't know if they trust their blocking, and we have a phenomenal defensive line. Oh.
And on Central's very first snap, he takes a sack.
As a great tackle by that young man. Looked like an inside linebacker blitz on that one, and it got home.
Worked to perfection. 6-yard loss on the play. 2nd and 16 for Wilson Central from their own 35-yard line.
Got trips right.
Pass is complete.
Now,
number 7, Jared Lawrence.
That shouldn't happen because there were 2 receivers at the exact same spot. We should have had at least 2 or 3 guys there for that.
Lawrence takes it up to Central's 47-yard line. 3rd down and 4 coming up. Let's see if Mount Juliet can make a defensive stop of their own on their first possession. Quarterback takes the snap, looks right, throws to the running back, and immediately hit.
Good tackle. Great tackle.
That'll bring up a 4th down and 2, and Central's punting team will take the field.
If the Central quarterback can get the ball downfield to have Mount Juliet respect the deep pass, that play's not going to work.
Devin Palmer is deep to return the kick.
Uh-oh.
And the punter fumbles the snap. He's struggling to recover. Hit by Mount Juliet. Recovered by Mount Juliet. Touchdown, Golden Bears. Number 17, Jamari Sowell with the scoop and score on the fumbled punt. And this crowd is excited here in Mount Juliet.
And just like the Titans game last night, that's the worst thing that could happen. Early turnover with a touchdown that fast.
So Mount Juliet will line up to kick the extra point. Tyler Johnson back to kick. Snap, set, hold. Good. Johnson boots it right down the middle. So the Golden Bears take an early 7-0 lead with 7:56 remaining in the first quarter.
It was a bad snap. It wasn't the punter's fault. The snap went over his head, and he tried to go get the ball, but he's a punter, so he was not comfortable with the ball and knowing that large men were coming at him angrily, and ends up the touchdown for us.
We saw a similar situation in Super Bowl 48 when the Denver Broncos snapped it right over Peyton Manning's head into the end zone, and the Seattle Seahawks scored a safety early in the game. They ended up blowing the Broncos out 43-8 in that game. Maybe, hopefully, a similar situation turns out here in Mount Juliet tonight.
That is correct, Cade. And kudos on your knowledge of Super Bowl history.
Thank you, Mr. Valkyrie.
And like we talked about at the intro, the central staff are worried right now because in the past, when something bad has happened early to them, it set the tone for the rest of the game. One got short. They only got 10 out there. There we go. Johnson in the kickoff for the Golden Bears. And as Mount Juliet's defense has shown this year, they're not going to give up a lot of points. So,
no, they're not. The Mount Juliet offense has struggled this year, but the defense has been lights out, only allowing 19 points as their highest scoring game and 7 apiece in their next 2.
Against really good teams, too.
Tyler Johnson, number 26, lining up to kick the ball away. Sends it short of the end zone, and Central fumbles the kick and recovers, and he'll be brought down at about the 10-yard line. So special teams errors for Central are looking pretty costly here early.
Yes, and they're 90 yards from the end zone. And their offense didn't show that they could do a whole lot the last series, and hopefully it stays that way.
So Central will take their ball from their own 10-yard line with 90 yards to go if they want to put some points on the board here.
Wouldn't be shocked with a trick play, deep pass, something of that nature to try to change the momentum.
They're going to take the ball from the left hash, and there's a flag on the play. Offsides on Mount Juliet. So 1st down and 5 for Central.
The nose tackle was getting kind of jumpy, and he must have crossed that line. And in high school football, that's it.
Central hands it off right up the middle, and he's going to take it for a Central 1st down to their own 29-yard line.
Well, I mentioned earlier that they were not running up the ball at the middle a whole lot, but they proved me wrong right there. Nice game by the Central tailback, who is a pretty large tailback for a high school player. Can you see the number of their quarterback as well?
Tristan Lewis, the Central quarterback, will take the snap, puts his running back in motion on another trips play. It's a flat route out to the tailback, spins away from one tackle and tackled at about the 30-yard line. It'll be a gain of about 1, maybe 2.
Yeah, the tailback is Xavier Ali, who is actually a former Golden Bear. I believe he came to our school as a freshman, and then he transferred to Central. He's 6'2", 200, which is a really good size for a high school tailback.
Second down and 8 from the Central 30-yard line. Tristan Lewis takes the snap. 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Lewis drops back, looks to throw, and he's got a man open. Tackled at about the 42, and he gains a first down.
That was a very good throw by that young man. Very pinpoint accuracy by Lewis. Mount Juliet was in a zone. Their receiver sat down in the grass and got a nice pass.
He had a lot of time in the pocket there, not a lot of pressure created by Mount Juliet.
Yeah, we only rushed 3 guys, and we might need to rush up. We might have had to send a blitzer to get some pressure on him.
First down and 10 from Central's own 42-yard line. Tristan Lewis takes the snap, rolls right, tosses it up for his receiver, and just overthrown. Incompletion, second down and 10.
Yeah, they tried to take it deep there, and he missed him by about a yard, I believe.
Second down 10, Wildcats.
Justin Smith was the target on that throw.
And they are throwing so many formations at the Golden Bears. No backs, trips, double set here. Now
Lewis lines
trips.
up, sends a man in motion. Lewis takes the snap, hands it off, and he runs right into a wall.
Yes. That was a good run blitz there by our outside linebacker who hit home.
Great defensive play by Mount Juliet there. And there's a flag on the field.
It was thrown on against our sideline.
It looks like a sideline warning against the Mount Juliet coach.
Sideline warning against the Bears.
One of the most frustrating things when you're during a high school game is keeping the boys away from the sideline because it's just human nature, and that's why every team has a get-back coach. No backs.
No backs in the backfield. 2 receivers on each side. Lewis drops back to pass, rolls right, tosses it up for his receiver, and he makes the catch out of bounds, incompletion. Great throw and great catch by the receiver there. It's just not in the field of play.
No, and he was open. A little bit more accurate throw would have got that one.
So that'll bring up another 4th down and 12 for Wilson Central, and they're going to bring the punt team out. This ended horribly for them last time. Hopefully they try and make up for it here.
Yeah, hopefully the snapper for them has calmed down, not for us.
Devin Palmer back deep to receive. It's a line drive punt, fair catch called for, and caught at about the 35-yard line of Mount Juliet. So it'll be Mount Juliet football, about the 35-yard line. 4.5 minutes remain in the game.
By the way, keep an eye on that punter. That was a good snap, but he bobbled it before he got a hold of it to take the kick. That might pay off later on.
So the Golden Bear offense will take the field once again.
We got an H-back. Might be a run.
Run right up the middle, and he's going to take it, find a hole. Good gain there on the play. Gain of about 7 or 8.
And he followed that H-back right through the hole. The H-back, by the way, is a hybrid tight end fullback position.
Second down and 2, Golden Bears. Little hurry-up offense. Messenger hands it off again, right up the middle, and looks like he might have gained 1. Maybe enough for the first down there. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, he slipped. He's a yard short. He would have got the first down if he hadn't slipped.
He did have a little bit of space there, but 3rd down and 1 now.
if we have a power back, hopefully we can get one in there. Now this is a power formation.
Hands it off up the middle again, and he bounces it a little bit to the outside, and he'll get the first down at about midfield. Great run there by Mount Juliet's running back.
Yes, he read that. He read that well, Le'Veon Bell-like, where he was dancing behind the line till he found that opening, and then he hit it.
So first down and 10 from the 50-yard line.
We got that double stack receiver set again.
Messenger takes the snap, hands it off to Devin Palmer this time, and he's going to get no gain on the play.
That's twice we've ran that formation, and we ran the ball both times. Don't be surprised if Coach White's setting something up for later on in the game.
There's the same formation again. And this time Messenger's going to look to throw. Scrambles to his right, runs, makes a move, and tackled at about the MJ 47-yard line. There is another flag on the play.
And that's where holding is always thrown. That umpire almost always throws the holding call.
Holding against Mount Juliet. That'll back him up 10 more yards.
And hopefully for the referee's sake, unlike the Titans game, it actually is a hold. I'm still a little bitter about that, Kate.
I can tell. You've mentioned it a few times.
Yes, it was just horrible officiating. Trip to the
Second
right.
down and 24 from Mount Juliet's own 36-yard line now. Unblocked man off the edge. He gets it out to Palmer. Palmer cuts it upfield, cuts back to the right, gets the outside edge.
Oh, go,
He's
Younger.
running. He's going. He gets it to the sideline. Gone.
flag.
Touchdown, Mount Juliet.
No flags on the play.
And what a run there by Palmer. The vision on that play.
The vision was phenomenal. The coaching staff for Central has got to be furious because he went in motion from the tailback spot, and no one followed him.
That'll be a 64-yard touchdown for Devin Palmer. Tyler Johnson back out there to kick another extra point. Snap, set, hold. Nearly blocked, but he gets it right through. Johnson was hit on the play. There's no flag.
As I was saying, the tailback went in motion, and nobody went with him. And he was wide open out there. And it was a screen because the lineman come flying in. And then, like you said, Cade, his vision and the cutback and then the speed was phenomenal.
Just a phenomenal run by Devin Palmer there after the catch.
And
So the Golden Bears hop out to an early 2-touchdown lead with about 2 minutes left in the first quarter. And their kicking team will take the field again.
And what a nightmare start for the Wilson Central Wildcats.
And real quick, thank you to Jersey Mike's in Mount Juliet for feeding the B&N video team tonight. You can find Jersey Mike's in Mount Juliet at 2231 North Mount Juliet Road. That is 2231 North Mount Juliet Road. So all the momentum is in favor of Mount Juliet right now. The scoreboard is wrong on the field. It should be 14-0 Bears, not 10-0.
I believe everybody in the stadium knows the actual score, so I'm sure they'll fix it.
There it goes. These Golden Bear fans are loud tonight, and they are getting louder as we keep scoring. Johnson lining up to kick it again. Johnson boots it, and he got all of that one. Central fields it at about the 5.
Uh-oh.
He cuts it back to the outside, and a great tackle by Mount Juliet. And there's a flag on the play.
Yeah, phenomenal tackle. Could be a horse collar.
It looks like someone lost his helmet.
That's a weird call, Cade. When your helmet comes off, like in hockey, when your stick breaks, you're supposed to stop. And I think that was Zach Bertussit, and he made the tackle with his helmet off, and that's technically a foul, even though it's absurd. I believe the technical term is illegal participation or something of that nature.
My dad commented on the live stream and said the commentary team was phenomenal. So after the penalty, Central will take it from their own 31-yard line.
But without a helmet, that was still a phenomenal tackle by
It was.
Zach there.
He might have taken that all the way had it not been for the tackle. So
I was worried. There was only one other guy out there that could have stopped him.
Tristan Lewis takes the snap, hands it off to the running back up the middle for a gain of about 3-yard line.
Got another flag.
3 yards. There's another flag on the play.
Ali on the carry. Number 34 for the Golden Bears on the tackle. That's Derek Miller.
And another crucial penalty against Mount Juliet is going to give Wilson Central a first down.
Yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct. I thought somebody may have been late. I may be wrong, maybe in a face mask, but they don't give us that.
So that 15-yard gain will put Central at the 50-yard line now.
But it looked like the safety man came in late to get him, get a little piece of that in that huddle, in the pile.
So first down and 10 from the 50-yard line. Lewis takes the snap, throws a screen pass to his receiver out to the left, and he's going to get tackled.
And
good gain on the screen of about 6, but not enough for a first down. It'll bring up 2nd down and 4.
And that's a play that on video will make the coaching staff happy because he was tackled by literally 9 Golden Bears.
That's something you love to see from a defense, as many players as possible in on the tackle.
Yes.
And the Golden Bears are showing that tonight.
A little confusion in the Golden Bear defense. Trips right.
Puts a man in motion. Another man in motion, and it's fake reverse up the middle again for Central.
Ball.
And fumble. Ball is out.
Looked like Central got it.
Central did recover the fumble. And it'll be another first down Central. First and 10 from the Mount Juliet 39-yard line. Central's putting together a nice drive here.
Yes. Greatly aided by a couple Golden Bear penalties, but he may have had a little bit more there if he hadn't fumbled the ball.
So Tristan Lewis is going to put another man in motion. 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Takes the snap. It's another screen, and immediately tackled by Mount Juliet. Great tackle on the play there.
Great read by that cornerback. He saw that. It was a screen/wheel route, and he saw that wheel route coming, and he took care of the problem.
That looks to be Grady Mang on the tackle. A great play there. Great awareness.
Yes, obviously they've seen that on some film.
And the first quarter comes to a close. 14-0 Mount Juliet.
What an enthralling quarter there for the Golden Bears. Everything that could go right went right. Maybe toward the end with the penalties, but that's luck of the draw. But on the field, the Golden Bears have dominated.
A phenomenal special teams play and an incredible offensive play to get MJ 2 touchdowns on the board early. And they still have all the momentum right now. Just one good defensive stand here, and this game might be out of hand for Central.
Yes, Central better get some points on this drive, or at least before halftime.
While we have a break, I want to give a shout-out to Chris and Sharonda Hampton. My parents are watching this right now, and I think they'll probably get a good laugh out of me shouting them out. So, hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Is this so you don't get grounded for like future offenses?
Maybe some brownie points, maybe some cookies in the oven when I get home or something like that.
Oh, hint, hint. Trips left.
So Central takes the ball. from their 39-yard line again. And he's going to look and throw a slant immediately. Low pass, and the ref calls it incomplete. Looks like he might have had a chance to catch that one there, but comes up short.
And to give the quarterback credit there, that's the only place he could have thrown it. Anywhere else, it was either complete or intercepted.
The corner had him locked down on that play, so it was a really great throw by the quarterback.
Yes.
3rd and 10 from the 39-yard line. A defensive stop here would be key for Mount Juliet to keep momentum in this game. Seems to be some confusion for the Central offense.
Yes, and the MJ defensive line is switched in.
Lewis calls a man in motion. Trips right. Lewis rolls right. Looking. Can't find anybody, and he's going to take a sack. Number 22, Donovan Lewis on the sack.
Yes, great play by Donovan there. The quarterback had time, and he was rolling, and he did not feel Donovan coming up on his backside.
Awesome pursuit by Lewis there. He's going to lose Central 10 yards on the sack. 4th and 20 coming up on the play.
And I don't know if you know Donovan well, but he also has an amazing head of hair.
Unlike you, Mr. Valkyrie.
Touche.
Central lines up to punt.
He bobbled it again.
And the punter did bobble the snap again, and this one's going to bounce, take a roll, and stop at the half-a-yard line. What a punt.
That was a great bounce for them.
So they pinned Mount Juliet about as far back as they can get.
Isn't this where the Titans were last year when Derrick Henry busted off a 99-yarder?
It was. That would be awesome to see from Mount Juliet tonight.
Where did Derrick Henry play college football at, Cade?
He played for the University of Alabama. He happened to win a Heisman Trophy International Championship there, Roll Tide. I know my parents got a kick out of that.
Well, I threw you the softball, and you nailed it.
So Mount Juliet pinned deep. He's going to hand the ball off to the running back, and he's going to –
safety.
That's a safety for Wilson Central.
Yeah,
they sent a blitz right up the middle.
We came out with a power look, and we did not block that blitzer. Great play by their guys.
Central's defense read that all the way and adds 2 points to the board. 1 minute into the second quarter, and they'll get the ball back. So 14-2, Mount Juliet still holds the lead, but maybe a slight shift in momentum here if Central can score on this drive.
Yes, if they can put together a good drive here and score, it will be a different ball game.
And again, that punt set up that whole sequence that allowed Central to keep it in this game with their defense.
But if you know anything about the Perrys and their history of coaching, they have always been phenomenal at punt block, and they have seen that guy bobble the ball twice now. So they will be coming soon.
I sure hope so.
On a play like that, I do not know the Mount Juliet offensive playbook, but I would assume that maybe a quarterback sneak on the half-yard line may have been a better play, but I'm not second-guessing. They know more than I do.
And now Central is going to take a sideline warning of their own. So a sideline warning apiece for each of these teams. And they're reasonably riled up here, but might be something to watch for. So the Wildcats return team will take the field, and it looks like they're going to the wrong sides of the field. Mount Juliet, yeah, half of Mount Juliet's players just ran the wrong way.
Hey, high school football.
So now as the players return to their correct positions,
now on the safety, most people punt, but you can kick off. It's your choice. But most people choose to punt just because the ball goes higher.
Tyler Johnson will line up to kick the ball back to Central.
Number 9, Smith, back deep for the Wildcats.
Who did he say was back deep? Who did he say was back deep? Oh, I didn't hear. I didn't hear either. Johnson boots it away. And another short kick. And Central muffs it. And it's recovered before it can hit the ground by another return man. And he'll go down at about his own 45-yard line. Grady Mang on the tackle.
Yeah, Central's ball handling has been very suspect tonight with bounces and bobbles, but it worked out for them there.
That might just be some rivalry game anxiety there, but usually that goes both ways. And Mount Juliet has not had many of those mistakes tonight.
Historically, the Central boys have been way too hyped up for this game.
Now Tristan Lewis will take the snap and hand it off up the middle again, and no gain on the play. Another Mount Juliet wall. Maybe a loss of a yard there.
Yes, very slow developing play there. I don't know if it was meant to be slow developing or we just blew it up through the middle.
All over the field. Loss of 1. 2nd and 11 Wildcats.
So it'll be 2nd down and 12 from the Wildcat 43. 2nd and 11. I apologize, from the 44.
No one in the backfield.
Trips left, 2 men to his right. Lewis throws it to the flat, and he's going to get tackled at about the 50. Jamari Sowell and Donovan Lewis both in on the tackle there.
That's the second or third time they've run a play similar to that, so be looking for Central to jump that. Mount Juliet to jump that at some point in time.
And if they jump that, that's another Mount Juliet touchdown easy.
Yep.
So 3rd down and 6 from the Central 49-yard line. If Mount Juliet can make a stop here, they can keep the momentum going there in their favor.
It's a big play in the game right here. Could be early in the second quarter. This is a big game.
2 receivers each on each side, and he sends a man in motion. Flag on the play. False start on Central.
Well, that changes everything for them right there.
So a 3rd and medium, and now becomes a 3rd and long.
And
so now it'll be 3rd down and 11 from the Central 44.
And Mount Juliet probably play more of a soft zone on this one. Let them catch it underneath and then tackle them. Or who could bring the house?
Mount Juliet rushes 4. And Central completes the pass to the 40-yard line, and they will gain the 1st down there.
That was a very good pass. Very good pass with that
Complete
young
to
man.
number 2, Ezra Widelock in the center of the field. Great throw by Tristan Lewis on that play.
And he had time. We rushed 4, and he rolled to the left and hit the guy in stride. I've been very impressed with the accuracy of this Central quarterback.
He has looked good tonight, and their offensive line looked great on that play. The offensive lines tend to not get much credit in football games. Usually, if they play well, no one says anything. If they play bad, everyone's on them. So, great blocking there by the Central offensive line.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to have to send some people to get some more pressure on him.
Tristan Lewis lines up again. 1st and 10 from the Mount Juliet 40-yard line. And it's a reverse shovel pass. No gain on that play.
Great play.
Braden King was right there in the backfield as soon as the receiver caught that ball.
And once again, he had to have seen that play on film to have jumped it that fast and been in absolutely perfect position.
Great defensive awareness on that play. Central loses a yard on the play.
Which is a testament to the coaching staff of the Mount Juliet Golden Bears.
Looks like Mount Juliet might try and bring some pressure from the right side here. And they do. Oh, quarterback fumbles the snap.
It's on the ground.
It's on the ground. Who has it? There's a scramble for the ball. Mount Juliet comes up with it. So a crucial mistake there by the Central quarterback. Number 71, Noah Clayton on the fumble recovery.
Another example in just a quarter and a half of this game of Wilson Central's ball handling skills being very suspect.
And that is a huge, huge play in this game. Central looked like they might be driving down the field to gain some momentum, and that just destroyed all of it.
Absolutely. And it was a good snap. He had his head, he looked up too soon and bobbled the ball. If we score here, it could be a long night for the Wildcats.
So Mount Juliet's offense will take the field again. Trips right. There's another flag on the play. Looks to be another sideline warning against Mount Juliet.
Yeah.
Oh, illegal substitution. I apologize.
I think we may have rushed a guy out there way late, and that may have been the illegal part. That's a confusing call.
So the penalty will make it 1st down and 15 for the Golden Bear offense. 2 receivers to Messenger's right, 1 out to his left. 1 man in the backfield. And he's going to hand it off at the middle, and there's going to be no gain. Immediately stopped by Central.
One of the things that I believe that Mount Juliet needs to do tonight, even though we're up 14-2, is we got to get the ball to Malik Bowen more often. Our Duke commitment, who has not seen the ball enough in these first few games. He's our playmaker. He needs the ball.
Yes, Malik is an incredible player, and he has been seemingly absent from Mount Juliet's offense lately. Messenger drops back to pass, throws it, and it's going to be caught by Mount Juliet. Number 20, Tayshawn Thompson on the catch. Brings it to about the 50-yard line.
I thought that the Wilson Central kid had jumped that, but Tayshawn got the catch.
It did look like a Central interception, but a great save by Tayshawn right there.
3rd and 6.
3rd down and 6 from the 50-yard line. Messenger takes the snap. Central brings pressure. He tosses it up, and that's going to be intercepted by Central. And there is nothing but green in front of him. Messenger made a hit to slow the return man down, and the offensive line caught up with him. But Central ball severely underthrown by Messenger on that play. It looked like he was trying to throw up a jump ball there, and it just didn't work out for him, not high enough.
It looked like he just threw that up for grabs. He was getting a tad bit of pressure. It was 3rd down and 6. He was trying to make a play, just made the wrong play. But to his credit, he didn't make the tackle, but he slowed that guy down to we got him.
Way to not give up on the play by Messenger there, and Zach Delfendahl made the tackle on the play. Delfendahl's another guy who has offers from D1 colleges. I believe he got an offer from Butler recently.
Yes, and he's also someone I wouldn't want to be tackled by.
So it'll be Central ball from the Mount Juliet 28, 1st and 10.
Don't be surprised if they don't go for it here. First play.
Lewis takes the snap, hands it off. It's a reverse flea flicker. He's going to toss one up for grabs, and incomplete pass. Oh, he caught it.
The Central kid caught it. He threw it up for grabs, and their guy undercut it.
The quarterback threw it up for the man coming to the left, and the man coming right managed to get under it and save it.
This second quarter's been a roller coaster.
That was a very lucky play there for Central.
Yeah, they did the double reverse pitch back to the quarterback. We saw it coming. We got to him right as he threw it.
And just a really wounded duck-looking throw by the quarterback there, and he seemingly got bailed out by his receiver on that play. Great awareness by the receiver coming right.
Yes.
And so now Central has it 1st down and goal from the 3-yard line.
Power eye.
He's going to run it right up the gut.
Touchdown.
And touchdown Central.
Central lines up in that power eye in short yardage situations. And that's a large lot of beef coming at you at one area, and they just overwhelm you.
Yeah, pretty easy touchdown there after the big gain on the reverse flea flicker.
So we've had fumble, interception, and then that flea flicker pass for that big reception. So like I said, roller coaster of the second quarter. Golden Bears need an answer.
That'll put Central right back in the game. And it looks like they're going to line up to go for a 2-point conversion here.
That power eye again. They're going right over right guard. Oh.
Quarterback rolls out to throw it, and easy throw right there. And the 2-point conversion for Central is good. So that'll make it a 4-point game.
Yeah, that was a well-designed play. And once again, that quarterback made a great throw.
So that touchdown drive will probably have the quarterback's confidence up. And the interception will have our quarterback's confidence down. So this might lead to a big momentum shift for Central here. Something to watch for.
Absolutely, and their players are going nuts. Their stands are going nuts.
So in that wild sequence of plays, it's now 14-10 Mount Juliet. And their student section is just going wild now.
Yes, and
but Mount Juliet's is, of course, pointing to the scoreboard.
Which is the best response you can give. They're having a nice little run of plays here, but they're still down by 4. It's going to be he's sitting for maybe an onside here.
This looks like a surprise onside for Central, and it is not. Mount Juliet fields it at about their own 35, and he's going to get tackled at about the
Well, it's obvious that the Central coaching staff doesn't trust their kicker or return kickoff coverage team, because they just did a little pooch punt that gives the Golden Bears great field position.
So 1st and 10 for Mount Juliet from their 33-yard line. Messenger takes the field again after that costly interception on the last drive. Do you think they try and run the ball, get it,
Yes.
try and keep him from throwing it? Or yes, they do. And he's going to run, cut it back upfield, and he's got space. Great run by Mount Juliet. Brings it up to the Central 40-yard line.
Great run by Colin Baggett there. Great vision again. Knew when to cut it inside. Perfect run.
And he had some great blocks out front. That'll be about a 25-yard gain to the Central 39. So Messenger lines up to snap it again. This time he hands it off to Palmer, who had the touchdown run earlier. And now Palmer cuts it outside. Palmer's loose. Makes a move. Run out of bounds at about the 15. Another great run by Devin Palmer.
And that's a situation right there where the Will Central defense was not lined up right. There was no one on the right side of the field, no backer. So he ran 10 yards before anybody got close to him.
So back-to-back huge runs by Mount Juliet puts him in the red zone now.
No reason to do anything different.
Messenger lines up, hands it off again. Back to Palmer, and Palmer cuts it up the middle of the field, makes another move, spins away from 2 tackles, and brings it to about the 5-yard line.
Yeah, he had that Adrian Peterson spin move a couple of times.
Palmer is showing some incredible elusiveness in this game, especially on those last 2 runs and the long touchdown from earlier. Oh, that run will not count. Holding called on Mount Juliet. We'll back him up 10 more yards.
Well, that's disappointing because that was a phenomenal run. Conlon's back in the game now.
Messenger will take the snap, and this time it's a reverse. Whistles. And Central will call a timeout.
Yeah, Coach Dedman is trying to get his boys calmed down. They've let up 3 big plays. One of them didn't count. But he's trying to get his boys to calm down a little bit and get ready.
Yeah, Central's run defense has looked pretty a little bit off on this last drive. They've played pretty well throughout the game, but this last drive, they've allowed a lot of yards on the ground.
Well, earlier in the game, we were trying to run the ball straight up the middle, and we were having some success. This drive, we've hit off tackle and some sweeps, and we have really moved the ball, and they were not ready for it.
This adjustment has worked a lot better for Mount Juliet.
I'll still say they got to figure out a way to get the ball to Malik.
Real quick before we start again, thank you to Jersey Mike's and Mount Juliet for feeding the BNN video team tonight. You can find Jersey Mike's and Mount Juliet at 2231 North Mount Juliet Road. So with about 5 minutes left in the second quarter, Messenger will take the snap, 1st and 25. Hands it It's a quarterback read option, and he's going to go nowhere on that play.
Yeah, that looked more like that was designed for that.
Central read that one all the way.
It was almost like a midline where the tailback knew he wasn't going to get the ball, so he went straight to blocking.
So this will bring up 2nd and 24 for Mount Juliet. And he's going to hand it off to Conlon Baggett, and Baggett gets it to the outside. Oh, he loses the football. There's a scramble for the ball. And it looks like Central recovered it.
He was almost in for the touchdown.
Just an absolute momentum killer right there for Mount Juliet. He had ran it right inside the 10-yard line, and Central punched it out, and it went straight to their defensive back.
Yes, it was very unlucky because Conlon had basically defeated the last tackler, and he got a hand in and knocked the ball free.
So another crucial momentum killer for Mount Juliet will give Central the ball back. Although deep in their own territory, they'll take it from their own 6-yard line. If they can make something out of this drive, this might be trouble for Mount Juliet.
Yes.
So the defense has to hold up here.
Yes, if they get something here, it's completely a new ball game and not one that we want to play in.
So Tristan Lewis will line up to take the snap again, and it's going to be a read option and whistles. And Central calls another timeout. That's their second of the quarter, half.
When you're
second
down
half.
deep on your 6-yard line and you look up and you see a defense that you don't think is designed for you to play you're about to run, you use that timeout.
So with 4 minutes and 41 seconds remaining in the second quarter, we'll go to another Central timeout.
One thing I'll say, we got a little bit of a breather here is even though he's been the head coach at Wilson Central for 9 years now, Brad Dedman is one of the best dudes I've ever known. He is a great guy, a great coach. And except for this game, I generally hope Wilson Central wins. I just hope they go 9-1 each year.
So the Central offense will take the field once again. Lewis lines up, no men in the backfield, 2 receivers to either side of him. He's got 1 H-back in front. And QB draw, he gets away from the men in the backfield and gets tackled at about the 10-yard line. That'll be about a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, that was a nice little play there. Went back to like he's going to pass like a normal draw, and he got them out of the end zone.
Make some noise over there, fans. Your defense needs you.
Got trips left.
So 2nd down and 7. And, oh, wow. Lewis rolls right and immediately slips and is sacked in the backfield. Derek Miller was back there to touch him down.
Yes, and if he hadn't slipped, he wouldn't have gotten far anyway because we had that play locked down.
No, Mount Juliet read that play to perfection.
But great play by Derek Miller.
Let's hear it, Golden Bear fans.
So 3rd down and 9. Central is deep in their own territory. This could be a huge, huge play for the Mount Juliet defense if they can get a stop right here.
Got to watch those crossing routes. They're bringing the big tailback back in.
Lewis is going to take the snap and roll left into his own end zone. Pressure's coming, and he's going to go nowhere. Sacked by Mount Juliet.
I don't know, like that 2 or 3 yard line. That means that the punter is not going to have his normal distance. So don't be surprised if Mount Juliet doesn't just bring the house.
Marshall with the sack. 4th down, Wildcats.
That was Manny Marshall with the sack on the play. Bring up 4th and 13 for Central from their own 4-yard line. And this is going to be a really difficult punt for them to get off, especially with the way their punter's been bobbling the ball today.
Exactly. I predict that we're going to bring the house and try to make a play here, but there's nothing at all wrong with just dropping back into coverage and getting the ball on their 40, 35-yard line as well.
It's sort of a win-win here for Mount Juliet.
Yes.
If they can get a block on the play, it'll be either our own safety or even possibly our own touchdown.
And with him bobbling the ball those times, and it looks like we do have almost
And
everybody on the line of scrimmage.
the hot hand, Devin Palmer, is back deep to receive the kick. He's standing at about Central's 35-yard line. So it doesn't look like they're anticipating a very deep punt here.
Oh, we are bringing it.
And Mount Juliet does bring the house, and the punt goes almost nowhere. Line drive. And it'll take a Central roll to about the 45-yard line. So Mount Juliet will take over in Central territory already. Great field position here. No excuse to not get some points on the board.
I'll say, though, that's about as best as the Central coaching staff and the punter could have hoped right there, because the ball bounced about 10 yards.
Yeah, best case scenario for Central in that.
I don't know if our returner could have grabbed the ball before it bounced those 10 yards, but it's too late now. Bowen's playing quarterback.
And Malik Bowen has the ball. Makes a move to the 20-yard line. So a beautifully designed trick play by Mount Juliet right there.
Absolutely was. And they got the ball to Bowen. Great design play. Double reverse back to the quarterback.
Bowen's first touch in this game goes for about 15 to 20 yards.
Now I bet we run back off tackle.
And Messenger hands it to Palmer, and right on the handoff, he is met in the backfield. He tried to spin out of it, but all in vain.
Yeah, Coach Dedman brought the double inside linebacker blitz there, and they were not accounted for.
Loss of 2 there for Mount Juliet. It'll bring up 2nd and 12.
Double stack.
So Messenger drops back to pass, looks to throw, and overthrows Palmer. The defensive back knocked Palmer down on the play, but it looks like the refs are going to deem that uncatchable. It was far over Palmer's head.
Yes, and can't second guess the gentleman on the field, but I believe if he had tucked the ball and ran, he could have got 5, 6, 7, 8 yards on that. But he's trying to make a play.
Central did not bring a lot of pressure there, which they have been doing pretty well when Mount Juliet has passed the ball.
Now it's 3rd and long. There will be pressure this time.
3rd down and 12, about 2 minutes remain in the first half. Messenger throws a screen pass to Jamari Sowell, and he has blockers in front. Gets it to the outside. Touchdown, Golden Bears. Great play by Jamari Sowell there. Gets it to the sideline, and he was gone.
That was a great design play. Messenger got that ball out there so fast, and that allowed him time to make a cut.
He held that for maybe 1 second before he got it out there. Great play by Messenger and a great run after the catch by Sowell right there.
I didn't know Messenger had that good of an arm, that powerful of an arm.
So Tyler Johnson will line up once again to kick the extra point for Mount Juliet. Snap, set, hold, kick, up and good. Johnson booted that over the concession stand. That hit the Mount Juliet High School sign.
That's a phenomenal answer by the Mount Juliet Golden Bear offense. The roller coaster of the second quarter was going against them with Conlon's fumble on the goal line, but we held them. 3 plays later, touchdown.
So with that drive, Mount Juliet takes a 21-10 lead as the first half winds down. 1:49 remains as the two teams get ready to take the field again.
And Mount Juliet needs to make certain they do not get any points on this last minute and 49 seconds.
Central does get the ball to start the second half, so a score here running the 2-minute would be huge for Central to get some momentum going into the half and coming out of it.
That's correct. That's the Bill Belichick special. He's famous for that. If we can go into the halftime at 21-10, their heads will be down.
So the defense can't get too cocky here after taking a bigger lead. They need to hold the ground and keep them from the end zone here.
Yes, and Wilson Central's quarterback definitely has the ability to move the ball down the field if we're not careful.
So Tyler Johnson will line up to kick it off to Central again. His kicks have been a little bit shorter than usual this game so far. Maybe we'll see how far he can kick it the other way.
They've been high, though.
Johnson gets this one far. It's into the end zone, but Central's going to return it.
Not in high school football. The ball goes in the end zone, the play's over.
So Johnson kicks that one for a touchback. So Central will take the ball from their own 20-yard line.
This isn't the series of the game if we hold them here, but the next two series by Central will be the biggest part of this game. Either this one or the one starting the second half.
If Central scores on this drive, that would be absolutely huge for them and keep them in this game.
Yes, they will go into the halftime locker room on a high. We have to stop that.
If Mount Juliet's defense can hold them, they'll also hold the momentum going into the second half.
We're playing very conservative defense.
And Lewis seems to be a miscommunication on the play. He's just going to dive forward and lose about 2.
And one of the themes of this game, he bobbled the ball.
If Central wants to stay in this game, they're going to have to keep their hands on the ball. A lot of crucial mistakes made by bobbling the football by Central.
Absolutely.
And Mount Juliet's going to call their second timeout of the first half.
If they didn't have all these issues with the bobbling the ball and the snaps, it might be a tie ball game at this point.
So which specific players have impressed you so far in this first half for Mount Juliet?
Well, one of the great things about this Mount Juliet Golden Bear defense, especially, there hasn't been one player. Every player pretty much has made a play. Donovan Lewis's play, that sack, was very impressive.
That was huge for this game. And Grady Mang has made some key tackles too, coming out of the backfield. So
yes, and the linebacker Brady, can't think of his name, Brayton, he made an awesome play on that one as well. It's been a team effort.
It has. Great playing by the Mount Juliet defense so far.
And Derek Miller made a play from the line. Clayton made a play from the line.
And on offense, of course, Devin Palmer has been the star.
Absolutely.
Lewis drops back. He's looking deep. Pressure from Mount Juliet. Miller's in front. Interception by Mount Juliet. He's going to run it back. He's gone. Touchdown, Golden Bears.
Oh, wow.
Touchdown, Golden Bears. And that is killer for Central.
The worst possible thing that could have happened for them and the best for us.
And this Mount Juliet crowd is loud. This is the loudest they've been so far.
And that is...
And that was Malik Bowen right there. So while he's been neutralized on offense, he has the pick 6 on defense that absolutely crushes Central.
That is why they teach young quarterbacks, do not throw against your body unless your name is Brett Favre or Jay Cutler, Vanderbilt.
So Johnson's back out to kick another extra point. And nearly blocked, but he boots it through. Flags on the play. And this Mount Juliet student section is hyped right now. They are excited. 28-10 with a minute and a half remaining.
And there certainly is quite a few of them. They are spilling over into the aisle. Don't know what to call it. It's a weird place to throw a flag on an extra point. Unsportsmanlike conduct on both sides.
So those offsetting penalties.
Probably some trash talking in there.
I do not doubt that. These teams love to talk to each other, especially on social media.
It seemed this year, though, that it was almost a one-sided social media event with the Hate Central, Hate MJ weeks.
Yes, Mount Juliet's other section Twitter has remained pretty silent so far, and it looks like that's worked out.
Well, if this keeps up, they won't be silent here in a couple hours.
They will not. So 28-10 with a minute and a half left. Central's going to get the ball again. They'll probably try and play it a little more conservative on this drive, but they're kind of in a position where they need to score if they want to stay in this game. So if the Mount Juliet defense can do that again, it would just put this game away, basically.
And there's still a minute 27 seconds. If they get a decent run back here, they can make a play. They only have one timeout left.
So Johnson is set to kick it off again. And he gets that one to about the 5-yard line. Fielded by Central. And he's going to find room right up the middle, and he is gone. No one in sight, nothing but green in front of him. The Mount Juliet defender's in his dust. He's going to take it for a kick return touchdown.
Untouched. He went straight up the middle, didn't make a cut. He basically just ran like it was no one else out there.
There's a flag on the play. Block in the back against the Wildcats will take away the touchdown.
Oh,
so Mount Juliet gets bailed out by the penalty there, but still pretty awful kick coverage by the Mount Juliet special teams there. They got pretty lucky with that penalty.
Absolutely, they did, and that was now.
And of course, the student section is chanting, "You can't do that," as they have all night.
And
but
even though that was bad
crucial
coverage, we don't know. We don't have a replay. Maybe that block in the back was why he was able to cut that through.
So a crucial penalty kills all of Central's momentum they just gained from that long kick return touchdown.
Oh, their heads are down. And they got the ball on the 13-yard line. This is where you just hand off and go to halftime if I'm the Central coach.
So a glimmer of hope for Central is destroyed by a penalty.
And
it's still an 18-point game with a minute 13 before the half.
And MJ's playing a very conservative defense to make sure we don't give up any big plays.
Defensive line seems a little confused, but they get lined up.
Trips left. Now H-back.
And whistles. Looks like a timeout.
Timeout Central.
So Central's going to use another timeout.
It says they have one timeout left, but I'm fairly certain they've taken on 3 of theirs.
So what are you going to be looking for from both teams after the second half?
Well, from Mount Juliet, if we can keep them from scoring here, I can see a lot of ball control. I can see a lot of running that clock down to 2 to 3 seconds for a snap. And from Wilson Central, especially with how that quarterback's throwing tonight, I can see the ball in the air quite a bit. He's made one bad throw, and it was a horrible throw. For them. Great for us, though, Kate.
Great throw for us. We got a touchdown out of it, but
Hopefully
for Central, really big momentum killer. That quarterback was throwing it good tonight, and that might be a big confidence killer for him.
So tonight he's looked really good, but he's made 2 just amazingly bad plays. He bobbled that one snap for a fumble, and then that touchdown.
So Tristan Lewis is going to line up, and another timeout, it seems.
No, it's a flag on the play.
False start against Central.
That was an odd one because they had just got lined up.
So that'll make it 1st and 15 for the Wildcats.
This is definitely one of those where you just hand the ball off, unless they got something under their sleeve.
Central hands it off tackle. Tackled by Mount Juliet after a gain of about 5.
And it stays in place, so the clock is running. We'll see what Wilson Central's mindset is here.
About 1 minute remains until halftime.
They don't appear to be in any rush.
Second down and 10 for the Wildcats. 40 seconds. The clock is still moving. 2 receivers to his right, man in the backfield. He's going to hand it to the running back off tackle again, and he's going to cut this one upfield, get a first down out of it, but run out of bounds at about the 25-yard line.
Yes, he's got a good play there and building up his yardage, but with 32 seconds, we'll give that play up every time.
With this deficit, Central might try a little fancy play action or something here, but with the way the quarterback has thrown that pick six and killed his confidence, they might just run it out.
Well, it's 3rd down and short here. I would imagine they're going to run this again, and they do.
And they do. He's going to get tackled at about the 30-yard line this time.
And the clock will stop for the 1st down. Now the clock's running, so if they run another play here, it might be something treacherous. That's a vocab word, Kate.
I'm aware. Thank you. So one more play before the half.
Trips right. Nope, they're letting it run out.
And it'll go to halftime. These Golden Bear fans, players, and coaches are excited. They have all the momentum going into halftime.
Well,
28-10, and Central will receive the ball to start the second half.
And look at the teams run off the field, Kate. Mount Juliet's running off the field, and Wilson Central's walking off the field. That says a lot right there.
It sure does. Welcome back, Golden Bear fans. The second half is getting ready to kick off here at Mount Juliet. Score is 28-10, Golden Bears. And Wilson Central will receive the second half kickoff.
And as we were saying before the half, Cade, this first possession is the possession of the game so far. They have to get something happen here.
If Central can get some points out of this drive, they are still in this game. But if they screw up like they did the last few drives, they're in some trouble.
Yes, it could be a fun second half for us.
This Mount Juliet crowd is ready to go as Tyler Johnson takes the field to kick it off.
It'll also be interesting to see how what any halftime adjustments were made by each team.
So what are you going to be looking for from this Mount Juliet defense to start the second half?
Well, up by 18, if that scoreline stays the same, I can see a very conservative, keep the ball in front of you defense.
Johnson kicks it to the goal line, and Central's going to get it on the return, and he's stopped at about the 25.
Very good special teams play right there. The first guy to him got it.
He had room up the middle again like he did on that play right before the half where it got called back from a block in the back. So could have been trouble if that tackle wasn't made.
Yeah, this is one of those up by 18. It'd be interesting to see. I'm believing they'll probably play a little bit more conservative defense. Maybe rush something, maybe blitz one backer possibly, but just keep the ball in front of you so they don't, no big plays. That's the key, no big plays.
So Tristan Lewis takes the field again, takes the snap, hands it off up the middle, and he's going to get a gain of about 2.
Yeah, big number 71 right there. The pile was not moving him back.
Ashton Hurley with the stop on that play. That'll bring up 2nd down and 7 for Central.
Ooh, quads left. Look at this.
We haven't seen this formation tonight. They run a reverse, and he's going to cut it upfield but get pulled down a little bit past the 30, about the 32-yard line. So great. Definitely an interesting formation there for Central, but didn't work out too well.
They overwhelmed that side of the line, and the guy in motion came through. They had something. If that young man had been a step faster, he may have broke something there.
So gain of about 5 will bring up 3rd down and 2 from the Central 31-yard line. Oh, and no gain on the quarterback keeper. Great play by the defensive lineman right there.
Is that Donovan again?
It looks like Matt Delfendahl on the tackle there.
Smart kid, too. But, yes, that was a phenomenal play right there. Did not fall for that snap.
Great tackle.
He's going for it.
They're going for it. First possession of the
This is desperation
second half.
right here.
If Central doesn't get this, they're in trouble. And they do. And he's going to get a little bit more. So Central will take a little curl route right there, get the first down, and then they'll take it into Mount Juliet territory. So I don't think the defense was really expecting them to go for it there, and they had to hurry up and get set, and it caused a opening in the coverage.
Yes, and we decided to bring the house on that one, and their quarterback got rid of it just in time. Great play by them.
So Central does pick up the first down on 4th and 2, and they'll have the ball from the Mount Juliet 46-yard line. Tristan Lewis lines up again, puts the man in motion, trips left now, 1 man in the backfield. Lewis hands it off up the middle. He's going to run it and carry a man with him. Ball's out.
Mount
Looks
Juliet
like
ball.
Mount Juliet has it, and they do.
What an enormous turn of events there, Cade.
And Mount Juliet will take the football back.
That young man had a great run, ran over a guy, but then a little bit of, once again, ball security is biting Wilson Central in the butt.
So Mount Juliet will take over from their own 37-yard line, 1st down and 10. Central, after getting the key 4th down conversion there, coughs the ball up one more time.
Here comes the ball
And
control
now Bryce
offense.
Messenger will take the snap. Throws a screen. Number 20, Tayshawn Thompson will take it for about a gain of 4.
Well, I thought they was going to do more of a run ball control, but they saw something and they want to take a chance. But the clock is still running, though.
Messenger throws it again. And
Ball.
Central strips the ball and picks it up, and he's going to run it back. At the 10-yard line, no one's going to touch him. Touchdown, Wilson Central. So a scoop and score after their own fumble puts Central right back in the game.
Nice little screen pass. The young man was fighting for extra yardage, and a lot of times what happens.
Looks like it was Tayshawn Thompson again on the catch, and this time the Central player was not pulling him down. He was going straight for stripping the ball, and he did it. And it took a lucky bounce. Central picked it up, and there was no one in front of him.
That's, once again, the roller coaster of the second quarter is still going.
So just when MJ shifted the momentum right back to them, Central's going to get another defensive touchdown here. And that'll make it an 11-point game.
And the momentum now is on the Central side.
It sure is. So we'll see how the Mount Juliet offense recovers from that awful play there.
That was very bad. After that, now I'm willing to bet we're going to see that ball control, run the ball, milk that clock. Because Central has kind of proven they can't drive on us.
Yeah, Central's offense has struggled so far, but turnovers have killed Mount Juliet. The interception earlier, the fumble on the goal line, that did lead to a pick 6, and now this fumble.
This has been an extremely sloppy game for
Both sides.
For a perfect weather game. But as we talked about in the intro, the rivalry of this, the intensity, and the wanting to make a play is one of the things that leads to all these fumbles.
Turnovers and penalties have been a theme in this game so far. No penalties yet in the second half, but it's still a young half. So Central will line up to kick it off back to Mount Juliet. And they haven't really been kicking it deep much this game.
And it looks like they're setting up for that same thing.
Yeah, that short little fake onside kick. They might try and go for an actual onside this time, and they don't. Mount Juliet fields it at their own 32, and the return goes nowhere. Brings it about maybe 8 yards.
I just find that interesting. They're giving us the ball every kickoff on our 35 to 40-yard line, and that's generally not how you win ball games.
Mount Juliet has had good field position off the kickoffs all game, but not a lot of capitalization on that. So the offense will take the field again. Trips right. Jinx. Hands it off up the middle, and about no gain there on the play. Central's reading those up the middle runs all day now.
Yeah, I'm imagining that we'll be starting to run that off tackle again that worked so well in the end of the first half.
Another run for no gain there.
Yeah, the Central interior line is clogging us up. We're not getting a lot happening there.
That'll bring up 3rd down and 8 for the Golden Bears from their own 41-yard line. A key play here, because if they don't get it, Central gets the ball right back with all the momentum in their favor.
Yes, you got to be careful here. We have the position. We can punt here and be safe if we don't get this.
Oh, the screen pass is going to be dropped by Jamari Sowell. Pressure came right in on Bryce Messenger.
And that was close to being intercepted.
Very close. So now the punt team will take the field.
But if he had caught that, he had some yardage in front of him.
This is going to be Tyler Johnson's first punt of the night. Takes the snap. Kicks it. Good kick. Going to take a Mount Juliet roll. The central return man backs off. And Golden Bears are going to touch it down inside the 20. Good punt there by Johnson. So Central will take it from about their own 17-yard line.
Now let's see what our Golden Bear defense can do to stop this. Because as we said before, Central has not driven the ball on us. They've gotten a couple plays here and there, but their scores have come on short field plays and a return.
So Tristan Lewis is going to take the ball from his own 17-yard line. First down and 10 Central.
Empty backfield.
5 wide. He's going to put him in motion. He's going to come to the backfield. 2 receivers on both sides. Lewis looking to throw. He's going to escape, and he's going to scramble. He's going to gain a first down, run out of bounds a little bit before the 30-yard line. So Lewis scanning the field, saw no one open, and took it himself for a first down.
Yeah, that was good defense by the Golden Bears. He had no one open, and he made a play. Kudos to him.
Yeah, great run by the quarterback there. Gives Central a first down.
First down, Wildcats. First and 10 for the Wildcats from the 28-yard line.
So now they'll take it from their own 26. 28, my bad. Lewis looks to throw a screen, and good blocks. And he's going to be run out of bounds a little bit before the first down, it looks like.
Powerful run by the receiver after he made that catch.
Great run after the catch. He stayed on his feet through contact. And it looks like he stepped out of bounds a little bit earlier.
Yes, he did.
So gain of about 5 there, 2nd and 5.
What they're doing is we're clogging the middle of the field to stop that run, and we have single coverage on the outsides. So they're just blocking one guy and having their receiver beat the other one.
Central hands off up the middle for short gain, maybe 2 or 3 on that play.
That was a very good play by our linebackers to clog that up.
So it'll be 3rd down here. Key stop for Mount Juliet here if they can get it. 3rd and 5. No gain on that last run. 1 man in the backfield. 2 on either side. Throws the screen again.
Oh, good
and
play. Holding.
Flags. Going to be a hold on the Central receiver. Grady Mang was fighting through that block, about to make a tackle, and there's clear holding on that play.
Yeah, Grady Mang made an amazing play because he held that receiver up and made him go wide, and that allowed his brothers to come and knock him out.
So that'll push Central back 10 yards.
This is interesting. He didn't decline the penalty, which made it 4th down. Of course, they went for it on 4th last series, so maybe that was his thinking on this.
Yeah, after allowing that 4th and short conversion on the first drive, they might not want to take that risk again. So forcing Central to run a 3rd and long play seems a little safer than a 4th and short play.
And this is where we have to watch the crossing routes, the in routes, and the posts. So that's what's got us on those long ones earlier.
3rd down and 16 from their own 21-yard line. 5 wide. Lewis drops back and pressure. 34. Big hit on the quarterback. Derek Miller got him after the pass and still complete.
That was a situation where he was covered, and as the quarterback ran out the pocket, he we got
and there's a flag on the play. Looks like another holding penalty on Central.
great news for us there because
Yes, it is another hold on Central. That'll back them up another 10 yards to make it 3rd down and 26. And it'll save MJ again.
But what happened on that play that was successful for them was the zone linebacker saw him get out of the box, so he went to go help on that, and that allowed the opening for the receiver to sit down.
So now from their own 7-yard line, it's 3rd down and 26 for Central.
Not a lot of plays in the playbook for this.
And they're just going to run it up the middle, and he's going to take it for a good gain, but brought down at about the 20-yard line.
That was close to some late hits right there. I doubt they go for it here, Cade.
Brett Robinson on the carry. Looked like he had some room, but MJ made the saving tackle right there. 4th down and 6 from their own 21, and Central's going to bring their punt team out.
Interesting formation they got here.
So Central's going to punt the ball again. Another line drive punt. And it's going to roll away from the Mount Juliet return man to about the 35-yard line of Mount Juliet.
Yeah, he had thoughts of going and getting that ball, but.
So another good roll on a low Central punt.
Yes, and he made a good decision not going for that because he may have saved 10 yards, but the chance of a fumble was high there.
So with about 4 minutes left in the quarter, only score this quarter coming from the Central fumble return touchdown. Mount Juliet takes the ball from their own 35-yard line, 1st down and 10. Let's see if the offense can do something here.
I'm looking for some ball control.
Messenger's going to take a shot. Bowen got him.
Oh,
got him
great.
on a quick slant route. Great throw by Messenger. Great throw to Malik. Malik's going to take it past midfield to the Central 48-yard line.
Yeah, Zach White's going against the tendencies with these calls because the Central defensive coach is probably thinking the same as I am. Let's run the ball, but it's working. Hopefully no fumbles.
So Mount Juliet lines up 1st and 10, and Messenger looks around, scrambles to the left side, nothing but green ahead, and he's going to run it out of bounds. He's going to gain a 1st down and get it to the Central 35-yard line.
Great decision by Messenger right there. That
Great.
was set up for the screen, but the man jumped it. The Central guy jumped it. He saw it before he threw it, tucked it, and got a 1st down.
Great quarterback awareness. He saw his play was busted, and he took it and ran it the other way. Central's defense was not ready for that run, and Mount Juliet picks up another 1st down. So 2 quick 1st downs for Mount Juliet here, and the Messenger's going to take the snap again. This time he's going to hand it off, and it'll gain about maybe 2-yard line, 2 yards.
Yeah, Central's doing a good job on the inside run this half.
Coach White definitely caught him off guard with that pass, and then Messenger made a great play on that QB run. So they might try and catch him off guard a little bit more here. 2nd and 9, and there's going to be a flag on the play. Mount Juliet player loses his helmet.
Yeah, legal procedure.
So that'll back Mount Juliet up 5 yards on another false start penalty.
And that penalty was called by the umpire, which that usually means that the snap infraction. But that's basically all he's watching at the snap of the ball.
So it'll be 2nd down and 14 from the Mount Juliet 40-yard line. 2nd and 11, excuse me. Messenger throws the screen out to Jamari Sowell. He cuts it back inside, makes a move, makes a man miss, spins out of another tackle, and runs it forward for great gain.
That was a phenomenal run. We've said this so many
Great
times
elusiveness
tonight.
by Sowell on that play.
And what a great play that was. They faked the screen, Central bit on it, and then they threw the screen.
So Sowell on what should have been a gain of maybe 5 ends up gaining a little bit more. Gets us really close to a 1st down, about 3rd down and 1 here from the 29-yard line.
And this is 4 down territory right here.
They run the reverse to Thompson, and he's going to get tackled in the backfield. Great play by the Central defense there. Thompson had nowhere to go, lost maybe 4 or 5 on that play.
And that Central linebacker saw that coming because he rocked up as soon as he went in motion. He knew that was coming. No reason to punt right here on the 34-yard line. Might as well just go for it.
So 4th down and 5 coming up. The offense looks like they're staying out there.
This should be Malik Bowen time.
This is a key conversion here. If Mount Juliet doesn't get this, they'll have to get their defense back out there to make another stop. Messenger takes the snap, looking at Bowen all the way, and overthrows him. That was not Bowen.
A really good pass would have got him there, but just a bit overthrown.
So Central will take over from their own 34-yard line. 1st down and 10.
Need another good stop here. Can't let them score.
Bowen seems frustrated on the sideline, and he was wide open in the end zone by the end of that play. So,
yeah, but on a play like that, the quarterback was looking to the left the entire time, so the safety left him. So that might be why he was wide open, not by design.
1st down and 10. Tristan Lewis takes the snap, hands it off to his running back, and he's going to truck forward for about a gain of 6. C.J. Hatchett on the carry there.
They're getting some decent yardage on those sweeps now. That's something that the Golden Bear defense is going to have to lock down.
That'll bring up a 2nd down and 4 from the Wildcat 40-yard line. About a minute and a half remains in the 3rd quarter. Central runs it, and no gain on the play, but it looks like a flag.
Face mask.
Yep, looks like a face mask.
Unlucky, because they read it. We read it. We stopped them. Just when you grab for the guy, you grab the face mask by mistake.
Looks like Braden King has the face mask penalty on him. That was a great defensive play by Mount Juliet that's just killed by the penalty. So
yes.
That'll give Central a 1st down.
Oh, incidental face mask. Not the personal foul. So it's only a 5-yarder. I didn't even know that was still a rule.
I didn't know that either. So it will not be a Central 1st down. Brings up 2nd down for Central.
It's about 2nd and 6.
The scoreboard says 2nd and 44. That's clearly inaccurate. So 2nd and 6 here.
Oh,
Tristan Lewis, and there's another flag on the play.
left tackle moved early.
False start against Central.
So we got that yardage back.
And real quick, thank you to Jersey Mike's and Mount Juliet for feeding the BNN video team tonight. You can find Jersey Mike's in Mount Juliet at 2231 North Mount Juliet Road. That's 2231 North Mount Juliet Road.
I had the ham, and it was really good. What'd you have?
I also had the ham. I enjoyed it. Not a big fan of lettuce, though, but
Yes. I'm more of a spinach man myself.
I'm more of a meat guy myself. I don't like it if it's green. So Tristan Lewis is going to take the snap here, and he fumbles the snap again. Looks like he got on it, but
Now, another 3rd and really long for the Central boys.
another bobbled snap. A Central lineman is down on the field. He gets up, though.
And this is going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter right here.
So 3rd down and long for Central. 3rd and 15. And it looks like they're going to let the clock run down into the 4th quarter. And this Mount Juliet crowd is excited. They've struggled this year coming into this game with a 1-2 record, but at the rate we're going, it looks like they might improve to 500 here. And Central comes into this game undefeated. They're trying to keep that undefeated streak going, but they'll have to step up on offense big if they want to keep that.
What a weird 3rd quarter that was. The only score was the fumble return. But at the end of the quarter, it seems like we still have the momentum.
Yeah, both offenses have been struggling here so far, but
By the way, since we have time, Cade, I ever have told you that I am the worst football coach in Wilson Central history?
are you really?
Wilson Central had defeated Mount Juliet 6 straight years, and then I was hired as a Wilson Central football coach in 2009, and Wilson Central has not won yet. So You're welcome, Mount Juliet.
Well, thank you for that, Mr. Valkyrie, for sparking that 11-game win streak. And Mount Juliet's going to come out to looking to make that 11-game winning streak against Wilson Central a 12-game now. So to start the fourth quarter, Central will take the ball from their own 30-yard line. 3rd and 15. Pressure. And Lewis is going to throw it across his body wide open to the man in the middle of the field. And he's going to run for the first down to about midfield.
Oh, that was a huge play. They ran a mesh point, and the Mount Juliet defenders bumped into each other.
Lewis was rolling right, and he saw his man across the field and threw it across his body. Great throw by the quarterback there to pick up the first down. Great awareness.
And that shows some Brett Favre in him, that he threw a touchdown interception on that last time he did that, but he still did it again. Empty set.
So now Central on the first down. Lewis is going to throw it again. This time it's a screen pass and makes a man miss. And Mount Juliet will pull him down after a gain of about 5 or 6 right there.
The blocking by the Wilson Central receivers has been pretty impressive. Except for that one play that Grady Manning's play made down here. They've really blocked that first corner.
They do have some nice run blocking receivers out there. So what do you think Mount Juliet has to do here to put this game away?
I think it might be time to bring somebody, to blitz somebody from the weak side. He seems to be not looking toward that weak side a whole lot.
They are throwing the ball a lot. And they're going to run it up the middle here. It looks like there's a flag on the play.
We got a guy down, cramp.
And Mount Juliet has a guy down. It looks like a leg cramp.
Is that Big Clayton?
I can't tell. I can't see his number.
I don't know what that call was. It was against them. I don't know what that.
I saw the flag out of the corner of my eye, and I saw it go up, so I said it, but they didn't call what it was.
He put his hand behind his back. I don't know what that is.
That's like, I think, well, that's illegal forward pass if he puts his hand behind his back like that, but that's not what that was, I don't think. The injured man walks off the field. He seems to be okay.
The flag is on Central, but the referees are still discussing it. And
there have been a lot of flags in this game, but not as many in the second half as there were in the first.
like the referee's coming over here to Coach T, maybe. He is. I would not want to be a referee talking to Coach T. He is. Oh. He pointed toward Wilson Central. That explains why Coach T was angry.
Yeah, a little bit of confusion there with the referees and that penalty, but Central will have a first down here from the Mount Juliet 35-yard line. They're putting together a solid drive here. Lewis looks deep. He's got a man and just overthrew him. That man had a sure touchdown right there if Lewis makes the throw.
Yes, just 1 yard too far, but he was open.
He had to step on the defensive back there, but slightly overthrown. Brings up second down and 10. That could have been disastrous for Mount Juliet. That makes it a 4-point game here.
Absolutely.
And then they have to bring a struggling offense back out. So a little bit of luck there. That ball got overthrown. And now Central's going to go back to the run game right up the middle. Runs into the back of his own lineman and gains about 7.
Yeah, Wilson Central, hate to say this, but they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage here. They're moving us back, and we can't, when we have the ball, we can't run the ball down the middle.
The Mount Juliet defensive line looks a little bit gassed out there. They might need a little boost. 3rd down and 4 here. 10 minutes remain in the game.
This is 4-down territory for them. Oh,
Incompletion. Great play by the defensive back, Jamari Sowell, on that play.
That was a great play.
Lewis threw the quick slant to his receiver, and Sowell was right there. Looked like they might have been fighting for the ball, and Sowell ripped it out as they went down. Great forced incompletion there by Sowell.
And this is an enormous play in this game right here.
It sure is. 4th down and 4. Central's going to go for it.
With less than 10 minutes to go, down by 2
If they get
scores.
this game, they still have all the momentum going. But if we stop them right here and get the ball back, we can run out a lot of that clock. So 4th and 4 from the Mount Juliet 30-yard line. Lewis drops it back to pass. Pressure coming in. And he's going to try and keep it, and he gets tackled.
Great play. Great coverage by the Mount Juliet secondary, and the line collapsed on him.
Incredible coverage. Braden King and Luke Roberts brought the pressure on that play. Incredible defense by the Mount Juliet Golden Bears on that play.
Yeah, Luke Roberts, the Flying Bear, had a really good game clogging that line.
So Mount Juliet will get the ball back with an 11-point lead on their own 30-yard line. The chance to run out a lot of clock here.
And,
a great run right up the middle.
And I was just about to say, we need to get our defense some rest. They need a breather.
15-yard gain on the run there. And it'll bring up a Mount Juliet first down.
I'm surprised we're not running the clock down more here.
No, the offense still seems to be a little more up-tempo, just running the ball every time. So another run right up the middle. Conlon Baggett takes it. He's going to take this one for about 20. So 2 back-to-back right up the middle, big gains. 15 on the first run.
Great vision by Conlon there. He saw the hole, he saw the cutback, and he went at it.
Great vision on both runs. And he's dragging the Central defenders with him, too. So
and he's covering the ball
fighting
up.
for extra yards. Great run in here for Mount Juliet.
So
now they have the ball at the Central 35-yard line.
And one of the keys is keeping that ball covered up.
And another run up the middle for Baggett. He's going to take this one for about 4. Central read that one a little better, but still a decent gain for Mount Juliet.
Yes.
And that clock is still ticking.
Let that bad boy go.
We'll bring up 2nd and 6 from the Central 31-yard line.
Still got a power set.
Palmer is in the backfield this time. And he's going to get the carry right up the middle. And maybe a gain of about 3 there on the play.
Good hard run.
Palmer had an incredible first half.
I don't know.
He's going to trot off, and Conlon Baggett's going to come back out there.
I don't know how much faith the Golden Bears coach had in the kicker. If they would go for a field goal with this, we don't get it or not.
A field goal makes it a 14-point game with about 7 minutes left, so he's going to hand it up to Baggett again.
Oh,
and
that is close.
Looks like he's going to dive forward for the first down. Seemed to be getting a little chippy on the outside.
Yes, Malik and that the corner over there have been matched up all game long.
And they seem to be going at it here as the game winds down.
Oh, it's 4th down.
He did not get the first down. It's 4th and short.
See, this is where me personally, I do not like the shotgun setup for a short yardage.
And Tyler Johnson's going to remain on the sideline. Messenger goes back out there. They're going to go for it here on 4th and short.
Under center. Nice. Power on power.
It looks like they're going to go power run right up the middle. Quarterback sneak.
Oh.
And Messenger's going to truck forward and
He's
keep
still
going. He escapes.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Golden Bears.
On a quarterback sneak.
What a play by Bryce Messenger, and flags fly. Looks like a late hit on Central. An incredible run there. Messenger took the QB sneak right up the gut and stayed on his feet, got out of the pile, and took it all the way for a touchdown. That might be the dagger in this game.
It absolutely, well, it should be.
And this Mount Juliet student section is going wild right now.
And it did look like the Central boys lost their cool at the end, just out of just straight frustration.
Messenger took a shot in the end zone after he'd already scored. That looks like it'll be a late hit on Central. So now Tyler Johnson will line up to kick his 5th extra point of the night. Hasn't missed one yet.
One of the things that happens, Cade, when you do a quarterback sneak late in a game like this is the other team is going for the ball instead of going for the tackle. And if you break a couple, there's no one there.
Johnson to kick. Right down the middle again. And another flag on the play. This is getting chippy as the game goes away.
Oh.
Unsportsmanlike on Mount Juliet this time.
I bet that was some trash talk.
I don't doubt it. As the game winds down, players tend to get a little more brave when it comes to the rivalry.
Yes. And Coach T is going to go yell at the referees again. I tell you, Kate, I'm a large man, but I don't think I'd ever want him angry at me.
I don't think so either.
I definitely wouldn't want Coach Graw angry at me.
No, I've had Coach Graw angry at me before. I referee his flag football games on Saturdays that he coaches for his sons, and yeah, it's not a lot of fun.
He is an intimidating dude.
Yeah, great flag football coach and a great high school football coach, though. Shout out to Coach Graw.
He's a great dude. He's a great guy.
He really is.
And he's done a lot for Mount Juliet Athletics with his strength and conditioning program for all the sports.
He has.
He also does the Navy SEAL workout every morning, which I join him occasionally.
Right.
I do not join him.
So 35-17 Golden Bears, 7 minutes left, and it looks like this game might be getting away from the Wildcats. There's still a chance here. We've seen crazier things happen, but I don't know. With the way their offense has looked, it doesn't look good for the Wilson Central Wildcats right now.
Now, this is odd.
I think the unsportsmanlike on the extra point pushed Mount Juliet's kickoff back, unless the unsportsmanlike in the end zone after the messenger touchdown was on us too.
Yes. Once again, the referee pointed the wrong way and confused us.
So Mount Juliet kicking off from the 12-yard line here. You don't see this often, but.
Yes, and win or lose, there will be some young men that will be getting coached hard in film session on Sunday.
So Central's going to get some pretty decent field position here on this kick.
Yes, they will.
And if they can do something with it, they might be able to hang in this game, but they have to move fast. Good kick by Johnson.
Yeah,
Central
really
fields it
good
at
kick.
about the 30. And he's going to run it and get tackled at about the 50-yard line. And there's another flag on the play.
Yes, and that's almost always blocking the back or holding.
Yep.
Hopefully it's blocking the back or holding.
I think I can hear Coach Perry yelling from here.
Yes.
He is
yes.
not a happy man right
No,
now,
he's not.
despite the score.
Was a
Holding on Central.
well.
So that'll back them up to the 40-yard line.
Well, even though I wasn't a very good football coach, Cade, for Wilson Central, I guess, I was a decent soccer coach, and I can tell you, just as a coach in general, even whether you win or losing, if your boys are not playing to their level, it infuriates you.
Well, I can tell based on Coach T on the sidelines down there. So 1st and 10 for Central from their own 40-yard line. Lewis drops back to pass. Pressure coming in. Derek Miller's going to chase him down, and he's going to take another sack.
Great job, Derek Miller.
Derek Miller created the pressure, and it looked like the quarterback was going to get away, but he stayed with him and pulled him down. Great play by Miller there.
It looked like he may have ran a stunt on there because he broke free very fast. And Derek, if you meet him in the hallway, you don't think he's a defensive lineman. Because he's not a large man, but he is strong and he is fast.
I really thought he was a running back until I watched the game this year. 2nd and 20 now. Central's going to hand it off on a sweep. And no gain on the play. Great tackle there. Zach Pertusit on the stop. The Central receiver had a lot of room in front of him, but Pertusit made a great shoestring tackle on that play for no gain.
Zach Pertusit is a tough young man.
He really is. So this will bring up a 3rd down and 20 here from the Central 30-yard line. 6 minutes remain in the game, and if they don't get this one, then
This is
it's tough to come back from.
They're definitely 4-down territory for the rest of this game.
100%. 5.5 minutes remain. Tristan Lewis, 5 wide. He's going to take the snap, drop back to pass. Mount Juliet sends 3 on the rush. Pressure still comes in, and Lewis is going to take it himself. Run out of bounds after a gain of about 8.
Yeah, it'd be about 4th and 12, 4th and 13.
So a long 4th down coming up here, and a key 4th down, because if Mount Juliet makes the stop here, this game is basically over for
Yes,
Central.
if they make the play here.
But if Central can get a 1st down and a good gain afterwards here, they might be able to stay in it for a little longer.
And what's been very successful for them is that crossing route, the mesh point, which is how they got that long 3rd down last drive.
And a lot of former Golden Bears standouts are attending this game tonight to support their alma mater here.
Yes, I've seen Brian Aiken. I've seen Justin Harrigan. Mason Earls is here. It's the Wilson Central Mount Juliet game. I'm sure Wilson Central has a whole lot of former players over there too.
So Central's going to take a timeout with about 5.5 minutes left. Score 35-17. And coming up a huge 4th down, 4th and 13.
This is it for them.
And thank you to Jersey Mike's in Mount Juliet for feeding the B&N video team tonight. You can find Jersey Mike's in Mount Juliet at 2231 North Mount Juliet Road. 2231 North Mount Juliet Road. So anyways, what were you saying there?
No, I'm just saying this is any chance they may have of a Kyler Murray type comeback they'll have to get this, period. And then they have to line up and go again. It just seems very unlikely.
With the way their offense is moving, it does. So
Here comes Derek
Lewis
Miller.
rolls right, pressure coming, and the pass is going to be incomplete.
Out of bounds.
Good throw on the sideline, but it's out of bounds.
And that's the ball game, folks. Not trying to run people away, but with 5:17 to go, it's going to be 11 in a row.
So Mount Juliet will take over again from the Central 37-yard line. Little over 5 minutes left with an 18-point lead. And they can put this game away with a long possession here.
And one thing I was wanting to discuss with you tonight, Kate, is this is possibly the last of the really intense Mount Juliet Wilson Central games with the Green Hill High School opening up next year.
Yeah, I think after this year, Green Hill High School is going to be the main rival for the Mount Juliet Bears. And Colin Baggett is going to take it for a dagger. That's it.
Flag
Touchdown, Golden Bears. Oh, there is a flag on the play.
But I think it might be offside, so it should count.
We'll see what the flag is and if this touchdown stands, but it looks like it's going to stay.
Illegal.
It is on Central. Penalty is declined. Touchdown, Golden Bears.
Illegal participation. So they ran a sub on way too late.
So on what was probably supposed to be a drive where they run out the clock, Mount Juliet's Colin Baggett takes it all the way to the house on the first play. Tyler Johnson's extra point is good.
Yes, the Central boys have lost their containment. They've lost.
You can just tell by watching them jog off the field they are unmotivated to finish this game.
Yes. Not saying for 1 second they're quitting by any means, but when you're down by your biggest rival like this, it's disheartening, and they're losing the containment. And one thing I can tell you from living on both sides of this rivalry, the Wilson Central boys and the Wilson Central sporting community period has a whole lot more anger and hatred towards Mount Juliet than Mount Juliet has towards them. I experienced it when I was coaching soccer there and coaching football there, and when I coached soccer here. But as I was saying, with Green Hill High School opening up, and it just being 3 miles from Mount Juliet High School and just across town, that's going to be Mount Juliet's biggest rival by far. This game will always be a rivalry, but in the eyes of Mount Juliet, this will be second to Green Hill.
Sort of how Lebanon is to us now.
Exactly. And what's going to be interesting is next year, a lot of the Wilson Central boys will be moving over here to play for Mount Juliet with the rezoning.
So with about 5 minutes and 9 seconds left, Johnson's going to kick it again, and Central fields it at about the 20-yard line. And fumble. Looks like Central got on it at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, the rezoning is going to be interesting, Kate, even though you're not going to be here.
No, I will not.
But the Green Hill High School will be entirely made up of Mount Juliet students, current Mount Juliet students, plus the West Wilson freshmen. But then Mount Juliet High School will be a mix of current Mount Juliet students and Wilson Central students that live on this side of I-40.
And Wilson Central is a man down. It looks like a foot cramp.
Yeah.
So a little break in the action here. About 5 minutes left in the game. Mount Juliet leads 42-17. Central will take over from their own 30-yard line with not a lot of hope for them going forward in this game, as it looks like they'll be taking their first loss on the year, and Mount Juliet will improve to 2-2 on the season over their biggest rival.
And as I mentioned earlier, obviously I want us to win, but I do feel bad for Brad Dedman that he has to walk across for the 9th time in a row for him and shake the hands in defeat.
And Central had all the momentum going into this game. After a few years of struggling on this football program, they started 4-0, and Mount Juliet, on the other hand, with the loss to Stewart's Creek in the first game and then the 7-0 loss to Gallatin last week, came in at 1-2, their win against Lebanon. So this is a big game for Mount Juliet here to get a win, get their confidence back up. Lewis takes it on a quarterback keeper for about loss of 1 there.
Yeah, the one thing about that though is the Wilson Central schedule was very weak. They had played some not great teams. Even though, I mean, giving them credit, they're 4-0. Well, 4-1 now. And Mount Juliet, we had played Stewart's Creek and Gallatin, which are really good ball clubs. They'll be in the playoffs.
And prior to this game, Mount Juliet has scored 38 points all season. So they've outscored themselves in this game alone. And a sack on Lewis.
Is that Donovan again?
I can't tell. Number 89, Manny Marshall, came in and got the sack on that play.
Yeah.
So it'll bring up another 3rd down and long for the Central.
Yeah, one thing we'll have to
Central,
discuss.
about 4 minutes left.
We'll have to discuss with Coach T is he needs to have a better jersey choice so that the analysts can see the numbers better.
Yes, we are kind of struggling with the vision up here, but so Central's going to run a sweep, and the running back's going to take it for a decent gain there. That was C.J. Hatchett on the carry. Not enough for the first down, but good enough to make it 4th and short.
And
so it'll look like 4th down and about 4 here with about 3.5 minutes left.
The Wilson Central side is thinning out pretty fast.
Yeah, looks like the fans are clearing out here.
Yeah, they're just going to punt.
They're going to punt and keep the clock running. Nice high punt there for the Central punter. Fair catch called for by Palmer. He's going to field it at about the Mount Juliet 36-yard line. So with about 3 minutes left, Mount Juliet takes over again with a 25-point lead.
And at this point, we're probably just going to run the ball up the middle, run the clock out, and go shake hands. And then celebrate.
Yes, and it will be a good celebration after the struggle last week. And the student section is excited over here.
Yes, they're doing the I believe that we will win, or I believe that we just won chant.
And Central student section is silent, and you can see all the white shirts leaving.
Yes.
So Mount Juliet takes the snap, spins out of 1 tackle in the backfield, but met at the line of scrimmage for about no gain.
One of the interesting things.
Number 82, Cameron Moravec on the carry.
One of the interesting things with this rivalry is that the boys all grew up together. I learned this coaching soccer in both schools and football over there is that these boys all know each other. Most of them are friends. But for the 2.5 hours of this game, there's hatred. But when it's over, there will be love. Just more love on the black side.
Yes, of course. So with about 2.5 minutes left, second down at 11. Messenger takes the snap. Mount Juliet's just going to run the clock out here. Hand off to Moravec again. And he's going to take it for about 1. So this will bring out third down and 10 here.
So next week's homecoming.
It is.
Your last homecoming as a student.
It is. And I'll be up here with you.
Are you going all out?
I might.
You going to bust out the Father Guidi Sarducci outfit like you did today at school?
I might. We'll see. We'll have to see what happens. Yeah, that priest costume is always a big hit, so.
Which is, I found kind of odd.
I did too. I didn't expect a lot of people to like it that much, but I guess I'm just a likable guy.
You are Kate Hampton.
Not to toot my own horn there or anything, but. So about a minute and a half left, brings up third down and 10. And the clock is still moving. Messenger's out of the game.
Yeah, we're getting the JV boys some playing time here.
Yeah, sophomore Steven Swanner's in the game.
Yes, let them play get some game time in this rivalry. Get it started.
So no gain on the run, about a minute left, and looks like this one's over.
Steven Schwanner is the brother of Reed Schwanner, one of my favorite students. Plays guard for our Golden Bears.
Yeah, there seems to be a good amount of siblings on this team. You have Donovan Lewis and his younger brother Garrison. I think Garrison's on the freshman team, and then Zach and Matt Delfendahl are out there, and then the Swanner boys are too. There's a lot of family connection here, and then Jamari Sowell's older brother Jalen is sort of a hometown hero here in Mount Juliet.
Absolutely. This is kind of an odd setting here because it's fourth down, but there's 34 seconds. So, kind of want both of these coaches want this clock to run out, but
yeah.
And the Wilson Central Band is playing really loud right now.
They are. I'm not exactly sure why, but
that does seem kind of odd.
Can you recognize what song that is? It looks like they might just be.
It's almost like they're just clearing their instruments.
I don't think they're playing anything. They're just kind of playing their instruments.
And now there's a parent in front of us with a bullhorn.
That's nice.
It is
Gotta
nice.
love the parents.
They had the cowbell earlier. So who does Alabama have this weekend?
Southern Mississippi.
Oh, that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, it sure is. We're only favored by 39 points this week, which is more than the 55 we were favored by against New Mexico State.
Yeah, another great job of scheduling there by Nick Saban.
Yeah. After this game, though, the conference play starts up. We have a couple of tough conference. We've already beat South Carolina as our conference opener, but
and they're not a bad squad.
No, they're not. But yeah, a couple of tough conference games against Ole Miss and Arkansas. Some SEC West powerhouses out there.
Mm-hmm.
That is sarcasm for anyone who can't tell.
Well, Vanderbilt they got to play some school from Louisiana this weekend.
Ah, yes.
Should defeat them pretty easily.
That's going to be Bama's first challenge is the LSU game, I believe.
And LSU's been impressive with that quarterback.
They have. That Joe Burrow's looked good, but Tua Tagovailoa has looked better. And I nailed that pronunciation.
Yes, you did. Good job on that. What's his little brother's name?
Talia Tagovailoa.
Nice.
So yeah, you can kind of tell a game is over when the commentators are discussing a different sport now.
Yes.
There's about 20 seconds left, and Central has the ball. And it looks like they're just going to run the clock out here.
And that should be the last play of the game. Just a little dive. We got a man down, though. Central man's down. So the clock stops with 7 seconds with a Central man is down.
Yeah, Central man down with about 7 seconds left in the game.
Took his helmet off fast, and it looks like it might be Looks like he's in some pain.
You just hate to see these injuries happen, especially in a game that's basically over already.
Yes, especially on the last play of the game when you're just trying to run the clock out.
That really hurts.
And hopefully it's just a cramp, but it will be I mean, it's horrible to get hurt at any time, but to get hurt at this point in the game would be just a real shame. Yeah, looking at the schedule there, Kay, we not saying we have weak teams on our schedule, but we don't have to face another really, really good, tough team until the Hendersonville game at the end.
Yeah, I mean, Maplewood next week for homecoming shouldn't be too tough of a game. And then just, Hendersonville at the end of the year is really just.
And Hendersonville, no matter what they got, talent-wise, whatever, they're going to be a decent squad.
They are. And the Central man is going to walk off the field. He seems to be okay.
That's good news. Very good news.
Yeah, it's good news. You'd hate to see a long-term injury happen on a play like that at the very end of the game, just trying to run the clock out. So 7 seconds left. Central's going to take the snap one more time and just run it out. And Mount Juliet will make it, is it 11 or 12 wins in a row?
11 in a row.
11 in a row with a 42-17 win.
2010 all the way through now. Nope, sorry, 2009 to now.
So that would make it
11.
11.
And as the ball
Quarterback
game,
takes a knee, clock hits 0, and that's the game.
Well, Kay, this has been fun. I'm looking forward to doing this for the next few weeks.
I am too. It's gonna be a fun time up here in the booth. So the final score of the game is 42-17.
And not what I would call a dominating performance by the Golden Bears, but definitely a solid performance by the Golden Bears.
Yes, this is the most points MJ has given up since the opener against Stewart's Creek, and 7 of Central's points came off the fumble return touchdown. So really the defense only allowed 10 points in this game.
Absolutely.
And well, there was also the safety too.
The safety.
So really the defense only allowed 8 points total.
They allowed a couple of drives. Central was able to move the ball some, but our defense is so solid.
They just couldn't capitalize on it. And the 8 points came off the lucky lob pass that the receiver ran under. So
yep, absolutely.
Great play by the Mount Juliet defense tonight. They've been lights out all season.
And the Mount Juliet offense definitely showed signs.
They looked a lot better this game.
Yes, they did. Maybe just some tests they needed to get tested. They've been tested. And this game we've passed the test. Very got to be a good, pleasing game. And it's also a good game for the coaches so that even though the boys are thrilled to beat Central again, we didn't play so phenomenal that we can't improve.
That's right. Well, that's all we've got for y'all tonight. Final score, 42-17. Mount Juliet takes the W over their arch rival, the Wilson Central Wildcats, making 11 years in a row. That's about all we got. So good night, and we'll see you next week. I'm Kate Hampton, and he's Brian Valkyrie, and that's all we got. Good night.
Good night.